everyone, and welcome to the second episode of Outside the Box videocasts. With us today we have me, myself, Johan Lagmo, and also Anders Gustafsson and Hampus Berg.
Hi.
Hi guys.
So thank you all for all the feedback we have gotten. Hopefully we have fixed the sound issue with a very low volume. We'll try to be more structured. One of the main reasons we're running this show is that we don't want to be too structured, but we will try to get in somewhere in between maybe. We have a new thing that we're going to run in the coming episodes. We will try to talk about all the different armies. So this first episode we will talk about Lizardmen and how they do at the At.we comp, and also how they do at the Swedish comp system. We'll also try to discuss the new army books coming up, Warriors of Chaos, maybe High Elves, I don't know what's coming up really. And also how it is to be at a tournament for you guys that never are to tournaments. So let's talk about lizards, how they differ from other armies. And we have Anders with us, which is the At.we player for Sweden, for Lizardmen. What do you think about Lizardmen?
As I said in the last episode, Lizardmen is my army of choice, and I guess that's why I'm gonna get a couple of minutes extra this episode to talk about them, which I'm really looking forward to. Okay, so what differs the Lizardmen from other armies is mainly the army has one of the army-wide special rules is the cold-blooded rule, which really sticks out as one of the main differences from other armies. You get to roll one extra dice and remove the highest on all your leadership tests, which is really good ability, and it gives the army a very good solid stability that you can almost count on the for example the Saurus or the Stegodons to be holding when they're steadfast. It's like unbreakable. I mean, you have leadership 9, roll 3 dice, possibly with a reroll because your general is most likely your BSB as well, which is also a really good ability. You have those two abilities in one place, which really affects the army positively.
Yeah. Also, along with even the skinks can like take a chance from a lone character and hold, because they will lose the combat with like 4, and then you have leadership 6 with the reroll with cold-blooded, which is really stable. So
yeah, and we're going to come into that later, but. And that's the standard of discipline is often an overlooked item to take on your slan. Gives him leadership 10. Most people say that leadership 9 with cold-blooded and reroll is more than enough. But when you're starting to lose by points, you're no longer steadfast, and every point of leadership counts very much when you're cold-blooded. So even if you're in on leadership 4, leadership 5 is a big difference. So the leadership is very important in making sure that the army is as stable as it is, not just solid stat lines of the Saurus or the high movement on the skinks, stuff like that, because the army has a very solid. It's got a very solid stat line all across the board. At least for the stats you're using. I mean, the skinks being toughness 2, you can't really say that's a solid stat line. But then again, it doesn't really matter because they're going to die. It doesn't matter. It's so few points, and they're getting the job done anyway, being in the way and killing stuff.
They're not supposed to be hit by anything anyway, because their skirmish or ballistic skill, shooting attacks shouldn't hurt them, and they shouldn't be in close combat. Ever.
No, exactly. And if they are, it's just so few points that you don't really, it doesn't really matter. And also, I think that one of the main differences between the Lizardmen army and the other armies is that the army, in my opinion, it works more as an army should work, with all the parts of the army doing one specific. It's there for one specific purpose. You have the salamanders to counter big infantry blocks. You can't really counter big infantry blocks with anything else in the list. You could say that ramming a Stegodon into 40 clan rats is a good idea, but I mean, he's just going to be stuck there, thunder stomping all game long. And sure, you could have like 30, 40 Saurus.
But doesn't that also depend on the list? If you play like 2 Stegodons with lower life, then you have like 2 really tough roadblocks. And in the end, they will destroy one of the clan rat blocks.
Yeah, sure.
Or
you
at least one each.
You could say that 2 Stegodons is a good option for 2 Salamanders, but they're still fulfilling different roles.
Yeah.
That you still have to get the Stegodons in there. The Salamanders can hang back. You only need 1 shot with the Salamanders per game, and a lot of people play them, in my opinion, again, a bit wrong. They go for that shot. Even though it's not an optimal shot, they put the Salamanders in a position where they can be countercharged the turn after, which means that you put, for example, 3 Salamanders in the front of your army, and then you spout flames, let's say over a clan rat unit again, and then the next turn the clan rat unit charges you. Then you want to flee with the Salamanders, and then they won't be doing anything else for a couple of turns. Instead of waiting until you get into a position where you can just stand and flame the shit out of your opponent's army and he can't touch you, because that's when they're really going to get annoying.
But isn't that also kind of hard, because you want to keep your army on a small surface to be able to get the leadership and BSB? I mean, you don't want to spread out your Lizardmen army.
No, but you can, thanks to the cold-blooded rule. It's like, I mean, leadership 6 with cold-blooded. What is that? Like leadership 8, I think, or something like that, effectively. So I mean, you can, and also you have to consider that it's not that many points. I mean, a 10 skink blowpipes, 70 points. I mean, if they run off the board from a failed panic check, that's, I mean, you're not going to cry about it.
No.
And the army requires a lot of space, and you also want to have units around your opponent's side, so you have to deploy them wide. And I mean, unless you're very unlucky or you put skinks closer to each other than you have to, you're going to be fine.
Yeah, that's like the main thing when I'm used to play versus Lizardmen, not to play with Lizardmen, but the one thing that I focus on when I'm up against Lizardmen is never let them slip around you, because when they get around, you're so fucking screwed. You can't do anything. You will just eat poison wounds every turn and until you're dead.
Yeah, because I mean, and some people I've played, they just, I mean, ignore targets that they think are too hard. But I mean, 10 skinks picking off 40 units of clan rats, I mean, eventually they're going to be a lot fewer, and that could really help the game. So I mean, even if you feel like, okay, so whatever he can put his skinks behind me, that doesn't matter, then they're going to be shooting away at stuff for free, so to say. And I mean,
yeah,
you just
the main thing
every
is,
wound counts.
Yeah, especially when you started off with it's kind of like when you have a ranged Dark Elf army. You start off with a flame from the Hydra, and then you just put your 2 or 3 units of shades to pick off the last wounds. You do the same thing with Lizardmen, but you start off with 3 Salamanders, and then you pick off the last wounds with the Chameleons and the Skinks.
Yeah, and we actually had a situation playing a game leading up to the ETC. It was a practice game, me versus Kai, who is on the Swedish ETC team as well. He plays Dark Elves for the team. He played a Vampire Count's army this time, and he had a unit of like 60 zombies or something like that, and I had maybe 3 or 4 units of skinks on one flank that wasn't going to do anything that game. So I just shoved them up against the zombies, and he was like, okay, so let's just do this. I put away the zombies, you put away the skinks, we don't have to waste time. And I was like, no, I'm going to shoot them, because I'm going to shoot them, and when they're dead, I'm going to shoot something else. And he was like, you don't have the time for that. And it took me like 3 rounds or something like that. They were dead, with a little help from the Salamanders, of course. But
with a little help from the Salamanders.
With a little help, yeah.
I think I hit it one template or something like that.
Yeah.
And they were off shooting something else.
But if you're going to talk weaknesses, Lizardmen, what are they weak against?
as I said, the army works. All the components in the army, you need them for a specific purpose. You need the skinks. Actually, all the units in the army works as diverters, except for the big blocks. You can use even the salamanders if you have to. I mean, if that's the only way to save the abomination from getting into your Saurus with the Slan turn 3, I mean, you just have to use them.
And then the last diverter is the Saurus block itself.
Yeah, all the units in the army can be used as diverters. The Saurus, the Scar Veterans, the Skink Priest with the scroll or whatever. So that's the units are no different in that way. But the skinks are needed to take care of war machines and unarmored monsters, or armored monsters as well, like the Hydra. It's still a good skink target. You don't really have stuff in the army to counter monsters, for example, with anything else than skinks. So if you're going to a tournament where skinks,
you could run the Scar Veterans with flaming. Is nice versus like both the Abomination and the Hydra, especially the Hydra.
But it's not that good. Both the Abomination and the Hydra, especially the Abomination, kills that sucker before he statistically kills the Abomination.
Because that is one big weakness, their low initiative.
Yeah.
Especially when we're talking about 8th edition and more like the edition we're in now. Because now they always strike last. So now everybody is kind of like, I can give him a great weapon because he's going to strike last anyway.
Yeah, and that's a very specific weakness of the Saurus. But as to the army weaknesses, is that if you restrict some of the components of the Lizardmen army, it really restricts the army as a whole in a totally different way than other armies. For example, if you're going to restrict shooting at a tournament, and I'm going to bring a Dark Elf army, that's no problem. I'll just leave the Shades at home and take something else. It won't leave an impact. The army will be playing differently, but I mean it's still a viable army. While the same restrictions on the Lizardmen army, if you're just you can just take 3 skink units or whatever, that's going to do big impact, because all of a sudden the Salamanders will have a harder time because he's got a lot of monsters running free, and the Saurus will have a hard time, and you can't just kill everything with the Scarvets, and the magic is just not going to happen. Chariots is a big problem.
But also, looking at the ETC from our last experience, Lizardmen can't really handle high or low armor save. I don't know how you're supposed to say it, but if you're talking about knights with 1+ armor save.
True, but
no.
And you don't really have a good counter for that, because like talking about Mournfangs and Cavalry and some units of Warriors of Chaos.
No.
I think you only have the Salamanders, that's it.
And they're not very good against, for example, Mournfangs. No, the army really struggles against some builds. The Mournfangs you can counter with the Scarvets, for example. They are a pretty good counter if you can get the Mournfangs in the right position by clever use of diverters. Then the Scarvets won't go anywhere when they reach the Mournfangs, because the Mournfangs don't do shit against the Scarvet. So if you can get a Scarvet into the Mournfangs or the Demigryphs, that's a good thing.
But can you get two good Scar Veterans? Because I know with the Dawnstone, that's the good one. And what do you equip the other one with? Well,
in the ETC format, you are allowed 2 Scar Veterans. So obviously you go for the 2 Scar Veterans you think are the best. And the one with the Dawnstone Charmed Shield and Burning Blade / Sword of Might is, according to me, the best possible Saurus Scarvet. And the second one, in my opinion, is Scarvet on Cold One as well, with a great weapon, light armor, Dragon Helm, Amulet of Itzel, which gives him a 2+ ward save against his first wound, so it's essentially a Charm Shield, but better.
Yeah, it's better.
And also the Venom of the Firefly Frog to give him magical attacks as well. So
but
you have...
Sorry?
No, you were saying?
But he doesn't... The chance for him dying against Mournfangs is a lot higher.
Yeah, it's higher.
I mean, you can't depend. If you're gonna send him in, you don't think, oh, he's gonna stand there for a couple of rounds.
No, that's true. But then again, he's a lot better at killing Mournfangs.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And I mean, he's got a 1-up save, and he's toughness 5. So I mean, the Mournfangs aren't eating him up.
No, that's true.
And the Demigryphs aren't either.
But Demigryphs still have the armor piercing. That makes a huge difference for that guy. It's
yeah, but they're not. I mean, killing him outright when he charges. I mean, you still have to.
Can we put up the ETC list?
Yeah, sure.
Just to have it to look at, and maybe for the viewers to see.
So this was the list that Anders ran this year at ETC. It was almost exactly the same as the Polish list. He ran the skinks with the Croxagars instead of the Sauruses. And
which is very interesting because it's the second year in a row that him and I are bringing like identical lists. Yeah. So I assume that we have the same playing style, which is cool.
Yeah. We haven't talked about any other playing style of Lizardmen either, because you play a somewhat special style. I think it's the best style, and when I play Lizardmen, I play the same style. Like you have the block in the middle with a slan, and you have all the skinks around it with pterodons and everything, just moving around it, and then flees through the slan block when something comes close, and then just rallies and then runs up again, and do this, and they never reach the slan, and then you just put out the damage from the whole list.
Yeah, if you're going to play that way, it's very important to make sure that all your skinks are rallying close to the slan if possible, and especially the salamanders as well if they're going to flee. That style of play is it's not a defensive style of play, but the list is very defensive in a way that it's very hard to get the points from it.
You don't want to fight in close combat.
I don't want to fight in close combat, no, definitely not. And a lot of diverters. So it's kind of withering down your opponent by using skinks, and I also use Lore of Heavens, which can take care of. I mean, it gives me a boost in the damage output. Someone might think that the Lore of Metal is an obvious choice to be able to counter like Demigryphs or Mournfangs, but I don't agree. I think Lore of Metal is a crappy way of dealing with armor, because I mean, okay, so you have D6 hits Searing Doom. That's just okay.
Or
not
the boosted version.
But it's too. Yeah, it's too. The casting value is. It's crazy.
For the same reason, I'm not going with Dwellers this year. The casting value is a bit too high.
Yeah.
I'd rather just pump out every spell in Lore of Heavens if I get 12 dice. And I mean, D6 wounds on a unit of Mournfangs doesn't do anything. I mean, let's say he has 3 Mournfangs and I get 6 hits, and I kill 2 Mournfangs, so he's got 1 Mournfang left, and that Mournfang is just gonna go rampaging through my skinks anyway. So it's like I'm not getting any points off it, and he's still killing my skinks with it.
Yeah.
And he's got a big gut star that takes care of the Saurus that I need to divert as well. So I mean, the Lore of Metal is crappy on a Slam Mage. That's just the whole. I mean, and yes, of course you can lower a target's armor save. So let's say we have the Demigryphs with a 1-up save. I lower their armor save to 2+. No wait, they're 2+ from the start.
No, they're 1+.
1+.
Oh, they're 1+. Yeah, it's the Mournfangs with 2+.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's say we have the Mournfangs with the 2+, and I lower their save to 3+. Still, I'm not going to shoot them with my skinks anyway. I mean, I have to get like 30, 40 skinks around them to do any impact with that spell. So I think that's a crappy spell as well, unless I'm going to spam it at them. But that's just kind of too situational for my playing style.
Yeah. But the last ETC, not this year, the one before, you played with Lore of Life and 2 Stegodons instead. And this year you went for the build you're watching right now with Lore of Heavens.
Yeah.
And from our point of view, this was the best build for our team.
Yeah.
But if
the
we start
5 dice has changed loads of things in the
yeah, exactly.
The double Stegodon list, and I knew that from the start. That's a bit of a gamble. You have to be a bit lucky with that list, and face the right opponents.
Yeah, but looking at I guess, okay, there were a lot of teams who brought Lizardmen and had very strange lists. I want to talk about, I think it was the German or the Polish list, but we're not going to do that just right now, because one thing I was thinking about, last ETC and this ETC, there were a lot of big units of cavalry.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I could just ask you, why don't anybody play like 12 Cold One? I don't know if you get in 12. Yeah, 12 Cold One cavalry with like old blood and.
Yeah.
What's the problem in bringing that unit?
First of all, they don't have the save to. I mean, they don't have the same armor save that other cavalries have. They're only 3+. So.
Aren't they 2+?
Now the sword. Wait a minute.
They are 2+.
They're 2+.
But still, it's still too low because you need 1+ when you're doing that kind of heavy.
No, yes. They as soon as they're getting hit by a strength 4 hit, they lower their armor save. So yeah, 2+. So, which is not enough. It's the same thing. The same problem that the Cold One.
Yeah, but if we talk, okay, I'm gonna talk about the differences between Mournfangs and Cold One cavalry. The Mournfangs are also 2+.
Yep.
But
with
in some way, yeah, but in some way, the army has to differ, because in the Cold One cavalry you could put in 2 old bloods if you wanted, but why doesn't that work with the Lizardmen army?
Mainly because you can't afford the old blood, because the Slan eats all the points.
So play without the Slan?
But the thing is that the army is totally different. You don't do that kind of thing.
That's what I want to bring up. What's the why can't you feel that? Are they hitting too? Are they too weak when they're charging? Are you missing out?
I mean, yes, you have like 2 strength 5 attacks and 1 strength 4 attack per model, which is it's all right. But they cost a lot of points. They have stupidity. They can't flee from charge, and I mean they don't have hatred, and I mean
they don't have initiative 6 like the Darkleaf cavalry, for example.
They're not really solving any problems either. I mean, they're only movement 7 as well, so they're kind of slow, and I mean, no, they're just not good enough.
Okay.
Because
I was thinking about. Oh, sorry.
No,
what did you
just
say?
Getting modifiers on your armor save with strength 4 already is a bit too much.
Because I was thinking about. There's not a lot, but there are units in the Lizardmen army that people rarely field in the restriction tournaments, in comp tournaments, like the Cold One cavalry, jungle swarms, and in 8th edition they're not using the ancient Stegaron with the priest as much.
No.
So from the question for me is, what has changed? Why don't they field them? Why don't you use skinks with Croxagores anymore?
Well, people use skinks with Croxagore. You need to see people use skinks with Croxagore, and so
do you know the reason for that? Because if, for example, if the Polish guy that went with the same list as Anders this year, why do you field the skink Croxagores instead of the sources? Can you please answer that? Because we tried to figure that out for like over an hour when you saw the list.
We couldn't.
And we
I can give you a couple of reasons why you shouldn't bring it. Why I think they do it is that, first of all, you get more shooting in the army. They shoot a lot.
Yeah, true.
And also, they don't suffer. I mean, they're not as afraid of for example, the Purple Sun or stuff like that. They have initiative 4, and I guess people would say that the Croxagore fight pretty. They're a good fighting unit. 3 Croxagores.
Decent.
They're better handling, for example, the Mournfang problem that we talked about before.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're a bit cheaper than the Saurus units, of the same size at least.
But you still need to field 600 points and no more core, so that shouldn't matter, right? Because you still want the 3 units of chameleons, the 3 units of pterodons, and the 3 salamanders. So
Yeah,
this is if we talk about ETC.
Yeah,
that
that's
depends
if we
on
talk
the list
about
of
ETC, of
yeah,
course.
that's yes. Now we're talking about ETC. They have more movement, so I mean it's a quick unit, moving 12 up one flank. They can put some serious pressure. The problem with the unit is that you don't get the lookout sir with the slan in it. At least according to the ETC FAQ.
Yeah.
And
not
you
to engage workshop either, I think, because that's a mixed unit, and
yeah, exactly.
you need to feel it in basically the same unit. So.
And then also the skinks, they die too easily. Everything is going to have 3 plus at least against them.
Yeah.
So I mean, let's say you flank charge a unit, like let's say the 40 clan rats again. I mean the clan rats are almost going to hit you as hard back as your Croxagors and skinks hit them.
Yeah.
And especially if we're talking Saurus warriors. The Saurus warriors, I mean, you flank charge a Saurus unit of let's say 30 Saurus, with a horde unit of like 24, 25 skinks and 3 Croxagors. The Saurus just rapes that unit, complete. Yeah. So I mean, especially if you have a Scar Veteran in it, and that's another thing. You can't make way in the unit. So if you have a Scar Veteran in it, he's going to be there on the edge. Same thing with the Slan Mage if you use them to hide him in. And I guess that at least I think it was the Polish list, and perhaps even the German list as well. They had like a small block of 20 skinks with a musician.
No, the German list had, and that's one list we could discuss if we got the time. But that list had 2 large units of Saurus warriors and the double Shadow Slans.
Yeah, but I think he also had a bunker for his Slan.
Oh yeah, maybe, but I don't think he had any Croxagors. I think
no
Croxagors.
We should discuss lists that we don't know for certain.
No, that's true.
But anyway, the point is, if you have like a unit of 20 skinks, perhaps you can use them to hide the slans in a building, for example.
Yeah.
But I mean, other than that, I don't really see the use of them.
But you made because in Sweden we were playing with the Swedish comp.
Yeah.
And you have made
in the description of the video as well.
Exactly, the description, the link for the comp. But you made a list. Could we have that?
Yeah, I can
on the
put
screen?
it up. I'm just gonna do a switch here, so they don't switch when I switch it.
And maybe Anders, you could talk about the list a little bit, and maybe just address the comp.
Absolutely. So right about here, we should have a link to the Swedish compact, the compact, in the descriptions, perhaps, of the YouTube.
Yeah. We can start out by talking about it, like in general first, because it doesn't work like restrictions. Many people out there haven't played with a comp as this.
Oh, exactly. But the first thing, I think we could say that this Lizardmen army is comp 10, according to the system. And that's a hard list, or a tough list.
Shit, this isn't the correct list. There it is.
It's a hard list. I mean, it's not a hard list. I guess
it's a tough list.
Yeah.
But talking about comp 10, it's supposed to be tough at comp 10.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the wording is in the compact, but I think that they say like
the armies should be at between 10 and 15.
Yeah. So it still fits in the frames of a balanced army, I guess.
Yeah.
Do we have the list?
So how would you play
this is up now.
Well, okay. So the comp pack in Sweden is a very good thing. I think I support it completely. I think it's very nice to see that it's spreading to England, and they're having the Björn Supremacy over there using the comp pack. I also know they had a tournament a couple of weeks ago, I think, that used it, and the comp changes the meta gaming completely. If you play by ETC, you have some variants of a couple of lists that people are going to use. This enables you to use the Swedish compact enables you to use special characters, for example, and you can take units that you don't see in the ETC. You could, for example, take a double Hydra. You can fit a double Hydra into comp 10.
But then all the other list will be...
Yes, exactly. You have to sacrifice perhaps your magic, or your combat ability, or your shooting. You have to sacrifice something to gain something. So that's the main purpose of the comp pack, I dare to say.
Yeah.
That you should be able to field almost anything.
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
Like removed
I think
the tech
that
list, for example, because you will never
Kairos.
want to play.
Yeah.
And even if you go below comp 10, you can play them. But at comp 10, I don't think any of those are possible.
No. And even below comp 10, you have to have like a very weird army to.
Yeah.
So what's the main idea with the armor we're seeing right now?
Okay, so what I do when I make a comped army to a tournament here in Sweden that uses them, I want to find something that I can get points with, something that I use to get my points, something I use that I can win 20-0 with.
Yeah.
And then I want the rest of the army to support that and not drop points. That's one of the reasons, for example, that I'm not using Stegadons, as people can see in this list, because that's a typical unit that can drop points. It's a good unit in the right matchups, but meeting, for example, 3 cannons, dwarves or whatever, Empire, or an Iron Blaster or 2 Iron Blasters, the Stegadon is just useless. So I want the list to have stuff that can support my point makers, my forwards in the list, so to speak, and then I want the rest of the list to not be able to drop, or not have a hard time dropping points at least. So what I was thinking was using death magic to win games, basically. Using death magic and the Banehead to win games.
Can't see a problem with that, because a lot of people are running 2+ ward save versus death these times, especially at the comp system, I think.
You mean magic resistance?
Yeah, magic resistance along with the any 5+ or 4+.
I have I don't know. I have something against using sniping if you don't have leadership 10. I mean, of course it's doable, but I just feel that if I wanted to build my list again around sniping, I would use a character with leadership 10. Of course, that's not possible in the Lizardmen list, but I would say that concerning the snipes, this guy is going to snipe stuff that isn't in the general's block. He's going to snipe chariots, a doom wheel, whatever. He's going to snipe other stuff. He's got Doom and Darkness, and that is really nice with the salamanders. So he's got Doom and Darkness. And one thing I like with the Doom and Darkness is that it's a remains in play spell, so it kind of puts down your opponent's magic phase as well, if he wants to chance it. If he doesn't want to chance it, he has to dispel it.
Yep.
So we have the Doom and Darkness, a really, really good spell in this list. We also have Soul Blight, another spell very useful with the salamanders. If you get, for example, Warriors of Chaos down to toughness 3, or White Lion block down to toughness 2, the salamanders are going to really, really hurt. Anyway, so we have the Banehead. So if I'm going to snipe characters, he's going to do double wounds against the one that I nominate.
Yep.
The Purple Sun is nice.
Yeah.
The Banehead. The Purple Sun is nice, for obvious reasons. It's a bit of gamble if it's going to stand next to the Scar Veterans or in the Saurus, of course. But in the right matchup, I'll just take that chance. The feedback scroll with the Banehead is the main reason why the Banehead is there. If I face a magic user or an army with a level 4, I'll just nominate the level 4, and when she or he casts a spell, I'll use the feedback scroll, and it's double wounds. So that's a no-brainer combo. Yeah. Then it's just the 2 Scar Veterans I talked about earlier. They don't cost that much comp to take, and one of them is a BSB, because that costs a lot of comp points to have on the Slan Mage, and I think that you might as well have it on a Scarlet.
Yeah.
And then it's the Saurus Warriors to have somewhere to put everything, and the Jungle Swarm doesn't cost any comp. 24 Skinks with 3 Croxagors. They don't cost a lot of comp, and as I said, you can run them up one flank, and they'll cause some trouble. Just a couple of skirmishers, and a couple of chameleon skinks. I love the chameleon skinks, very useful unit. And then some Cold One cavalry because they don't cost a lot of comp, and I think it's a cool unit to be running, like 6 Cold One cavalry, just to see what they can do. Perhaps just
but they're also looking at the possibilities in the army. They're really good to have because if you're facing cannons, you can put them in the Cold One unit.
Yeah.
And if you're not facing cannons, you can put them in the Saurus Warriors.
Yes, exactly. So they're a mobile lookout, sir, for the Scar veterans as well. And then it's just 3
But
Tyrants.
they're mainly there for this, for the comp score.
Yeah, for the comp score.
Yeah. And then 2 Salamanders, just to get the most out of the Death Lore, and then they're great anyway, so.
Yeah.
And the list comes in at 10, as we said, so with the Slan Mage, he's going to cause a lot of havoc. And the rest of them is very stable.
Why don't we see more Lizardmen armies in comp tournaments in Sweden? Because this looks kind of good.
Yeah.
I think the main reason is that we don't have that many Lizardmen players. And for like the last tournaments, High Elf have been totally reaching on this comp system. They have been unbalanced, to be honest.
Yeah, but just with that thing in mind, some of the good players should start to think about, maybe it's 2 Salamanders.
Yeah, the Lizardman is a good counter against High Elves. No,
yeah,
sure.
Definitely. At least you close down his magic phase completely. I mean, I didn't even mention the disciplines I have. I mean, all the spells of death, the reroll miscast, and his ethereal, and he's got the cogitation. So I mean, you're not going to get an irresistible force dwellers off of him. I was listening to the Bad Dice podcast the other day, and they were talking about, I think it was episode 90. They were talking about running no comp, just everything is okay, and they were talking about how to avoid dwellers, and becoming cogitation is a perfectly good way of avoid dwellers.
Because then you can just dwell them back. Because then
if you have dwellers, or you should,
because
exactly.
you will be running. Yeah, we will have like cogitation, rumination, higher state with a crown of command. Yeah, it would be outrageous.
But looking at army books that are being released during 8th edition, if we're just theory hammering a little bit, talk about Lizardmen. What, from your point of view,
what can we expect?
Yeah, in the next Lizardmen book.
I have no idea. I have no guess whatsoever. We have been seeing these monstrous cavalry thingies, so maybe some sort of Saurus mounted
giant riding stegodons.
Yes. Take that, Mournfangs.
But maybe something like I don't know, Salamander Cav.
Little Tyrannosaurus Rex with Saurus on top, like on the Mournfang base. I would guess that. I mean, all the armies are getting the monstrous cavalry units, so I don't think Lizardmen will be an exception. So I'd say they come up with some sort of jungle animal that Saurus can ride.
Yeah,
probably.
Do you think they will change the cold-blooded?
I hope not.
because cold-blooded with 3 dice hasn't always been there, or.
But the Empire have it as well now.
Yeah.
They have
that's true.
The captain thingy.
Yeah.
So they still have it. So, but they might they might do it like the same way that only characters have it, and then you need to put them in the unit, and you can pick them off because it's not that good in the Empire list.
I don't
because
think
you can just pick off the.
I mean, I don't think they will be restricting it to just the characters joining the units. I think that it's going to be an army-wide restriction ability. So
because I feel that if we skip the monsters cav, I think the Lizardmen army right now has all the elements that we're seeing in the newer army books, like big monsters and shooting, fast movement.
You don't have anything on the 100 times 150 base, the Ragnarok base.
No, that's true. That's true. So maybe a huge kind of stegadon. Yeah.
Without a doubt, some kind of huge turtle or something like that with just like a big pyramid on it.
I mean, like you still have
That's
the
gonna suck.
Stegodon and the ancient Stegodon, so they might just be the ancient Stegodon. They might just enlarge that or something.
I don't think that.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
works.
I think they will be introducing some kind of new dangerous animal, and in the fluff and the concept art, I mean, you have several different kind of dinosaurs roaming these jungles and insects and stuff. So I don't think they will have a problem with that.
No.
A Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
T-Rex.
But from your point of view, if you could change the Lizardmen army, what would you do?
Considering the books and how they've been looking.
No, just in general, because a lot of people, I mean, it's like you said, the army only works with all the components doing their job, and a lot of tournaments are restricting them. So in some tournaments, people are feeling that they cannot play them at all.
Yeah, that's true. And speaking of which, the giant Fnatic tournament that me and Johan is going to this weekend, they have really hard restrictions on the Lizardmen. And you see that in communities all over the world, that the talk on Twitter and the forums is that everybody hates facing Lizardmen. It's like the nasty army, it's the D cheese. But I don't know. I think the army has a lot of weaknesses, and if you start to restrict them too hard, it's going to be like we have here in Sweden. No Lizardmen players at all. I mean,
that's true.
I'm not bringing Lizardmen to tournaments. Now that the comp pack has been lightened for the Lizardmen, so expect to see more Lizardmen players. But up until recently, the Lizardmen comp was very hard here as well. So, I mean, in a tournament with like 80 players, there could be like 2 or 3 Lizardmen players.
Yeah. Hopefully, we will see this army on the battlefield.
Yeah, but
made by Anders.
Maybe.
Do you know how it went in England when they played the comp? What army did win? And things
No,
like
they
that?
haven't played it in
They haven't
November.
played it.
No,
No, I think they had one tournament that played the comp, but I'm not sure who won.
I think that's the first one. I think we should put up a link on the description for that one also, so people can go there and have a look.
Yeah, sure. We should promote the tournaments using that comp pack.
Yeah, but we're talking about new army books. The thing we're seeing is that the army books are. I'm not going to say that they're all are starting to look the same, but for example, they're only like introducing a couple of magic items, and it like in the Vampire Counts, and if we're going to believe in the rumors for the Warriors of Chaos, they're going to release some rules in the White Dwarf. Yeah. And my question is, do you think that they're only doing that to sell the White Dwarf, or what's their catch on it?
GW works in mysterious ways.
Yeah.
That's what I have to say. Sometimes it feels like they are just letting a couple of sea monkeys point at stuff like...
What the fuck is a sea monkey? I know what the sea...
Just go to Games Works and you will see them.
Yes, exactly. It's the executive staff on the GW. No, we shouldn't talk smack about the company that...
But I mean, every book is getting some kind of monstrous cav. They're reducing the magic items.
You have to take the law that comes with the book.
Exactly. And the question is, are they destroying it, or just... I mean, looking at the magic items in today's books, you use like 5 of them. So for me, I don't really care about that. But the question is, are they destroying the game, or just making it more, I don't know, slipstreamed?
Maybe I think they're trying to. I hope they're trying to balance the game, and I'd say that the game is more balanced right now than it ever have been.
Um,
I've never played like Games Workshop Warhammer ever.
We don't play that.
I don't really know, to be honest.
I don't think there's a lot of people who are playing, I mean, straight up Warhammer.
No, I think that some people are perhaps when they get tired of playing restrictions, they play a bit of a no-brainer hammer, so to speak, just the rulebook way, straight up, just for the sake of renewing the game. But but I think it's too one-sided. Even if every army has a combination that is really, really good, it's too much rock, paper, scissors. Either way, even if you bring a double Hydra, you're not going to out-win the tournament. Of course not. Even if you bring a double Abomination, you're not going to win the tournament. But you can face someone who's a lot crappier than you are, and he's just going to take it off, to use Ben Curry's words. Take it off.
Take it off.
Yeah.
But how does this affect the hobby? I mean, every time they're releasing rules,
I think they're releasing it this way because then they can release the models. They can do everything that they want to do because they want to sell models. That's like the main thing. Because if they wanted a balanced game, they would like release updates and erratas to every army book, like remove independent and things like that. If they wanted a balanced game, they would do that.
Yeah.
This way, they can release the models for like everyone to buy. And still don't have to do like a whole new book. They don't have to do all the fluff. They don't need to like think through every little balance thing that they did last time that they released the book. That's the main reason I like to do it.
I know.
Yeah, it's
but the thing
for me, it's just sloppy of them. Why the?
Yeah, for me the problem is that when the rules for the vampire counts came in the White Dwarf, and we played like the first 2 tournaments. I had no fucking clue what the units did. No, and to be honest, I didn't even care. Because for me, I want the book.
Yeah.
I don't want to go searching for the White Dwarf. And I don't think the White Dwarf book or the White Dwarf paper is selling that good. And I think this is a way just to sell more of them.
And they're redoing the White Dwarf as well, and I think that the download, they have a lot of downloadable content, and you can download the army books to your iPad and stuff like that. But I mean, seriously, I'd rather have it this way than we had in the 7th edition, personally.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Because the balance in 7th edition was very strange, and looking at the ETC, it's like, okay, you're playing vampire counts. You don't even need to know his list. It's like, okay, you're playing vampire counts. I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah. But talking about new army books. Oh, milk.
Like
yummy.
I told you, I'm on a diet, and I'm already 15 minutes late, so I have to like chug this.
Okay, but talking about the new army books. I also think, and this thing is affecting the hobby a lot, I think, and that's they're making new books for the demons, for the vampire counts, for the orcs and goblins, for the empire, and they already have new books. But then we have like the wood elf. We talk about the Bretonia, and for those guys who were playing those armies, they're gonna stop playing unless they start to do something about that,
or buy a whole new army.
That's the main problem, I think, right now, that the wrong armies are getting the focus, and that's also what shows that GW is more interested in making money.
Yeah, that's why they released the Warriors of Chaos again, because that's like their main army for fans.
Isn't that like Empire and the Orcs and Goblins? I think there are more Empire players than any other army.
No, it's. And that's the thing. I mean, seriously, how much do you have to say when you're playing a hobby that? I mean, there are more Space Marines sold than the complete Warhammer Fantasy collection.
Yeah.
So seriously, I mean, and it's a company. I get them. I mean, every company is there to make money. That's the if that's not the goal of the company, it's not going to work.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I mean, if we want this game to stay. If we want to be able to play this game with updated rules, FAQs, latest they may be, new army books, even if they come out in White Dwarf, whatever, GW has to make money. That's just...
Yeah, of course. But I mean, okay, just an example. If we talk about the car industry for a couple of minutes, and they have like different models from large family vans down to smaller cars. When one of their series is starting to get old, they don't sell that much, they make a new one.
Yep.
And I think it's strange because I don't think that Games Workshop is selling any Bretonia at all.
No.
And
No, of course not.
That's should start an alarm signal that maybe there's money here.
Yeah,
we just need to.
The problem is that they think like this. Hey, we're selling a lot of lizards, and if there are a lot of people playing lizards. So if we release a new book with new models, a lot of players will buy them. So they think they will make a lot of money because there are a lot of players playing them. But if they release a whole new collection of wood elves, for example, which has a kind of nice, like the archers is really nice. I think the dryads looks decent at least.
Yeah.
So if they release new models for like all the treekins and the treemen, which looks like they look like that, and you know how they look. I don't need to describe them.
They look like Hampus' face.
Yeah. Good.
Oh, that good.
Yeah, good.
I like.
No,
I mean,
conversion
if they were to release like new models of treekins and treemans, I can bet a lot of money on that. Every wood elf player would buy them because.
Yeah, but to be honest, the Bretonian Knights are the ugliest model right now for me.
No.
Okay, that's Anders.
Not true.
Anders is the ugliest model.
I disagree. I think the whole dwarf range looks crap, except for the old metal pieces.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
Furious aren't that great either.
But Anders, that's fine. Okay, we can talk about the dwarf. Why don't they get a book that makes them fun to play?
And I agree with you. I think, as I said, the main problem is that the wrong books are getting remade.
Yeah.
The remaking, like the Empire Army, was perfectly playable. I mean, sure, the steam tank was toughness 10, but so what? I mean,
but that was a errata that gave it toughness 10 anyway.
Yeah, but one bit of shades, take it off.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, then you have like the dwarves.
But Anders, that's not how it works. I played in BSK last year, and it was Pit of Shades, scatter, Pit of Shades, scatter, Pit of Shades, scatter, Pit of Shades.
It's like a magnet field around it, like everything comes off. Yeah.
You need that upgrade, the anti-magnet.
I have to use the large Pit of Shades. Then it just scatters, and maybe I'm lucky.
Exactly.
But okay.
Dwarves seriously is the army in most need of a makeover, and the army works. The army works. You can play with the army, and you don't feel like, hey, this is this is a completely wrong edition for this army, because I mean it plays well. It's the only army that can magically charge now and stuff like that. But the problem is
boring.
They're boring to play with, and they can't win tournaments. I mean, if a dwarf army wins a tournament, that's the exception to the rule. I mean,
because if they have scenarios, they're screwed. If they don't have scenarios, they need the other 5 opponents to kind of like go all in.
Yeah. The problem is that say you have 5 war machines. The stuff that the war machines can shoot at, except for the grudge throwers, just hide against the dwarves. I mean, if you have an edge with a dark elf army against, let's say, a wood elf army, you just run that wood elf army over.
Yeah.
The wood player knows that shit, this is going to go so badly, and he can try to hide in a corner, but eventually the Hydra reaches his armies, and then it's just bye-bye. The problem with the dwarf army is if your opponent feels like, holy shit, this is a bad matchup, he won't come to you, and then it's a draw.
Yeah.
So
and that was like when we talked to about last episode as well, that most people can afford to get a 10 during a tournament, but a dwarf player will face 5 10s and place in the middle.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly.
But,
and then you have the spells like the Purple Sun and the Pit of Shades.
Yeah. Which just out
deal damage.
But then we come to another question. Talking about the new armor books and also maybe the dwarves, they're kind of like introducing the phenomena that you have to use your own lore. So what do you think about the new books for Warriors of Chaos, Demons, and maybe High Elves, or maybe Dwarf getting some magic, or what do you think?
Well, the day the dwarves get some magic lore, I think you will have a rage. That would be.
Yeah, I mean, like the anvil could
maybe
be
a rune lore.
Yeah, perhaps they could have a couple of like stones they bang together and stuff happens or something like that, or just the anvil. That's their magic phase. Sure.
Yeah.
And well, I personally think that as long as you have the option of using the rulebook lores, I just welcome the idea of a race specific lore for every army. Empire didn't get one, but I mean, they have their prayers.
Yeah.
But they have never had their own, right?
No, exactly. They have their prayers.
Exactly. But then again, one thing I got mixed feelings about this, but I liked it when they're saying, okay, you can choose another lore, but one of your magicians has to have your own lore.
Yeah.
And that mixes it up.
But that's I mean, yeah. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I mean, Tomb Kings, Vampire Counts, Ogres,
Orc and Goblins.
Yes, and it's. I think it's a nice mix.
Yeah.
Sure, and the race specific lores, except for the beast lore, the lore of the wild.
Yeah.
I think they have been definitely playable. All the lores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Book, at least. Like the wood of lore aren't that great.
No, that's.
But you have another charge spell there. The wood elves can also charge.
That's
in the
true.
magic phase.
Yeah.
That's true.
But looking at talking about rumors, Warriors of Chaos is the next army who probably will get a new book. And looking at Infernal Gateway, what do you think will happen to the lore?
I think Gateway will be gone.
Yeah,
gone.
maybe reworked. I hope that Flickering Fire is still left, because that's been there for like 10 years now. So that would be fun to see again.
I wouldn't be surprised if they take the Infernal Gateway completely off, and then they put it back, and on a 7+, you insta-kill what you cast it at. Yeah. It's like, it's not,
but
it's
you
not
still
good
can't win against Lizards, so...
No, exactly, it's just... No, it's impossible.
But what do you still think that they will be, like the Singe lore will be... Because the thing is that if they're going to do a Warriors of Chaos, they have to put in 3 lores.
Yeah.
Or they don't have to, but looking at the army and how it has been...
I don't think they will have to take their own lore. Most likely not.
No, but I mean, talking about Singe, Nurgle, and Slaanesh.
Yeah.
Or do you think that they will skip the 3 lores?
No, I don't. I think they will be in there once the book comes out. Now the rumors are saying that it's just going to be a White Dwarf update, a couple of new units, and maybe some of the old ones gets a revamp. But once the new book comes...
But then again, the book will come pretty... I mean, you don't have to wait for the new book that long.
No.
If you look in the history and how it has been.
Yeah, but then Demons should come as the next book, and I don't think Demons...
No, but I think what Hampus is saying is that they did a White Dwarf update for the Vampire Counts, and then a couple of months, I think, or a couple of weeks thereafter, the book was released.
Yeah.
That's fine in my opinion, because then they can start to sell their new models a bit sooner, and I guess that's good for a company. But I don't like it like they did with the Demons if they don't follow up this new release. To be honest, because that was just strange in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like it's strange. It's like
introducing the Soul Grinder by this model, and then we also
they have the big stock.
Yeah,
what
they had a big stock of Soul Grinders.
Nobody in the 40K is buying them.
I had an epiphany when we started discussing this subject. I was like, who's going to say Soul Grinder the first?
But I mean, like, it's probably something like Demons aren't that great in the 40K, because it's like a 50-50 army if you get your right force first or something like that. I don't play 40K, so I don't know. So probably they don't sell enough Soul Grinders, but hey, in Fantasy, Demons are great. So we have probably a loads of Demons players out there.
Yeah.
So hey, introduce the Soul Grinder.
I haven't heard anyone trying them or could give any kind of feedback on them yet.
No, exactly. Not from in-game, at least.
No.
I think they're too crap for people to be considering fielding them.
Yeah, on paper, I don't see what the role is in Demon Army. I don't know.
Oh, it's just points waste.
Yeah.
But then I mean seriously, one good thing about the Demon update was that the Flamers got nerfed.
Yeah.
And that's seriously, that's just you can't. That's good. That's a good thing.
That's
and
good.
And that's what's confusing me. It's not a change made to sell more models, and I mean I can't imagine they sell too many Flamers and they have to.
Yeah, but the thing is, for example, in 7th edition, Flamers were fucking broken. In 8th edition, they aren't that great, in my opinion, with the last rules, or with the rules before the last rules, rather. But now, everyone is still feeling them before the change, and then they make them crap. So they need to feel something else. The Screamers are kind of good with the new rules, so everyone buys them.
Yeah, everybody
I guess
already.
it's something like that.
That's true. That's true.
But
Everybody already owns the Flamers.
But did you think the Flamers was a problem before?
No.
To be honest, in like EC, feeling 12, for example, was never allowed, but
Yeah, 12
would it be a problem? I don't think so, because they're not shooting that much harder than, for example, Shades. And Shades you can field.
Yeah, but the problem is that you can push with you. The thing is with the demons is that you could push with 2 really large units with hard hitters, and then you just move along with 12 flamers or 6 flamers on each side, and just anything that's trying to slip by is going to die. I mean,
because
diverters are
Blackguards
dying.
aren't striking that hard, or where are you going? Blackguards aren't striking that hard, or where are you going with this? Because the Dark Elves can do the exact same thing.
No, I don't think so, because you have to when you're charging like spearmen or something, you can calculate what's going to happen, and that's the main problem with demons. You can charge in, do 20 wounds, and he ward saves 18, and you can't do nothing about that.
But you can run the Cauldron, and then you have the 5+ ward save on your Blackguards as well, and they are stubborn always.
Yeah,
so.
but that's
Flamers,
one unit, and now I don't think this is viable to discuss. Just
they have a very good range. They have a very good range.
Yeah.
And they are flaming, very good against the Hydra, very good against the Abomination.
True.
And they're strength 4, which is very good.
Yeah.
So I mean.
Yeah, but they still have problems with like flying characters with Dragonbane, Dragon Helm, and that's like one of the most deployed units in the game. A Pegasus rider of some sort, or a lone character with Dragon Helm, and they can't do shit versus them.
But it's
but
not
as a good player, you know that the possibility exists, and then you can play more defensively with them. The thing is that when comparing,
but they won't do anything in that matchup. Anything.
Yeah, they will. I have played when I played Empire, the broken list.
Yeah.
You had 2 units, and 2 captains who had 2+ against flaming, and it's tough to get close to them. And I mean,
yeah, sure, but they won't get close to your army either, so they won't do anything.
Yeah, because you have to move your army, and they can pick off diverters, they can wither down some of the halberdiers. They do a lot, and it's still points that you won't get.
And you can't really say that 2 Pegasus characters they're going to have a 1-up save. They do that to all the skirmish shooting units. It's not specific to Flamers. So I mean, the Flamers are as good and better than all the skirmish.
For example, the High Elves won't get the 1+ save. I think they will only get 2+ save. So they're
on an Eagle.
Yeah, exactly. So their Flamers are way worse than the.
Yes, and you have the Dragon Armor on everything. Yeah, of course, High Elves. But you can't really say that a unit is bad just because you can tailor a unit perfectly.
No. Sure. Of course.
And you're addressing the Dark Elves, and I mean the Dark Elves are also broken. Every unit in the Dark Elf army is good.
Okay, so let's say Shades, and you're facing Skaven. The Shades they're not gonna suck, but they're not gonna be. I mean, the Flamers in the Skaven matchup are really good.
Yeah.
2 times 6 Flamers are really deciding how that match is going to go.
But I think we're getting off topic here. But it's interesting to discuss,
yes.
and I mean we can obviously hear that we have different opinions about this. But if we're going to stay on the subject about regarding new armies,
Yep.
and I think we're kind of on the end of this one. But if the rumors are right, we're going to get the Warriors of Chaos and maybe then the Demons.
Yeah. And
But I'm going to ask you, each one of you, if you can choose one army that you think should get a new book the most, or are in need of a new book the most, what would you choose, Johan?
Wood Elves for certain, and I think it's a nice ways for Games Workshop as well to sell models if that's the main prio, because they have these crappy models.
Yeah.
And I mean, Wood Elves don't really work in 8th edition either. It doesn't matter if you give them, take the HC for example, you give them 200 points extra, and no, you? Yeah, they had 2.6k, right? And
I think
also
so.
No restriction whatsoever, and still no one played them.
Couple did, but
yeah, Bretonnians work better.
You can only choose one.
Yeah, but I'm trying to explain why I don't pick Bretonnian, because Bretonnian really need a book as well. So yeah, but I will go for Wood Elves.
Anders?
Okay, so the obvious three choices are Wood Elves, Bretonnia, and Dwarves, and I'm gonna go with Dwarves. I think that I want them to have a new book. One part in that is that I think that GW can sell a lot of dwarf models if they get good rules. I think that they need a bit cheaper troops. Not a lot, maybe a 1 point reduction or something like that. And I also think that they can buff them up to movement 4 instead of movement 3. Because, I mean, seriously, dwarves, they're short and fat, but so are halflings or Skaven as well. And I mean, look at Gimli. He's running as fast as Aragorn and Legolas. No one is complaining.
I mean,
no, he's not.
You could make like the dwarves have 3 times when they march or something like that, so they can still march 9 inches or something. That could work.
Maybe they can
because
run really
they are
fast at the
disciplined
beginning of the
things
game.
like that. You can even back it up with fluff. So.
I understand. So okay, we're going for Wood Elves and Dwarves then.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I like the idea of an anvil with a specific, like a magic lore. Like you have a couple of runes you can strike each turn, and it's cast like a spell.
Yeah. Because I think the strange thing for me is that shouldn't they have, like, the anvil should be able to buff units. I think that would be a good change. Maybe give a unit +1 movement or something, so that, or something like that. Or maybe give them their movement ×3 for marching or something like that. Just to be able to give them kind of a more fun army to play with. Because for me, that's the problem. I have played them, and I think they're kind of boring.
It's always the same thing. You play the army, and then you get the first turn, and you say, okay, shooting phase.
Exactly.
But they're very aesthetically pleasing. I mean, the fluff and the models are not the model, but the idea of the dwarves is very compelling. As long as GW doesn't like give them a Balrog. It's like, oh, the dwarves dug too greedily and too deep, and now they have awakened a new ally who will kick your ass. It's a
Kadaya's destroyer on
it's a
steroids.
goddamn destroyer.
Yeah, but if we're looking, if we're going back a couple of editions, I think introducing their kind of war machines, their close combat machines, I think that would be really good for them.
Yeah.
Not like new steam tanks, but
no, maybe like a steam-driven robot.
Yeah. Titan, steam-driven 40K.
Ninja.
Yeah, maybe Games Workshop are having trouble selling kind of like Titan models for the 40K. Just introduce them into fantasy.
Yes, exactly. We got a Dreadnought, a Dwarfnaut.
Yeah.
But I think, there are a lot of possibilities with the dwarf range.
So I think when we're talking about new armies, I think also we should address different kinds of tournaments, because the armies will affect the restrictions and the comp. And one thing that I was thinking about is there are always different kinds of players at tournaments. I mean, we all three play competitively. We want to win. We go to a tournament with the best army that we could bring. and we're always trying to win.
Yeah.
But that's not the case for everybody. Some people just go there because they want to play 5 games during a weekend.
Yeah, true.
Is this a problem for the tournament scene?
No.
It depends. I mean, I would love to play it like in Poland, where we have more competitive players, we have large tournaments, we have like 200 people on tournaments. This is just rumors that I've heard. I don't know if it's true even, but like 200 people and more people playing competitively will drive the community forward and will allow them to like be better on the ETC, for example.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the games at the tournament the most when I play versus, for example, the other ETC members in Sweden, or like the ones that are trying to get into the team, the one where I need to struggle to win.
Yeah.
That's the most enjoying games. When I'm facing an opponent which just plays for fun and just smashes into me and rolls some dice and then loses, I don't enjoy it, to be honest. And to me, it's not a problem, but that these players play the game. Of course not, and not even at the tournaments. But I would like to see some kind of change with more players playing competitively. In my opinion. Yeah.
And
but I think we've seen this during the couple of years that it is a problem. If you go to a tournament with like 90 players or 80 players, there's a huge chance or risk, I don't know how you want to say it, that you only meet like 5 really crappy players and win the tournament. And that's the main issue for me when looking at tournaments and the different play styles. Those who are just playing to win and those who are playing because they think it's just fun to play.
As long as there is a part of the tournament, so let's say it's 90 players, as long as maybe 20, 15 people are coming there to play competitively, the Swiss will take care of the rest.
But we have seen cases, that doesn't always happen.
No, in some extreme cases, it's not enough. And then for I'm just going to go on and on about the Giant Fanatic, but then as Giant Fanatic is introducing the strength of schedule, getting the points your opponent from each game is getting in his other games. You get the average point of your 5 opponents added to your final point, and that should mean that even if some player has had very good matchups in that he has been playing against
but the problem isn't that you're facing like people in the lower brackets or in the lower part of the tournament, because you will be facing, for example, if I'm in the lead of the tournament, I will face the second in the tournament. But that guy might have, if you have a too large field, I can show it like this. Then, for example, say that every match gives either 20 or 0 points. You will have like first you have 40 persons after the first, then you have 20, then you have 10 at max, and then you have 5 at the max point. And of those 5, maybe 4 of them deserve to be there. But there is this one guy that has just met other guys that didn't deserve the points in each of these games. And then you face him in the last turn, and then you win, and then you win the tournament. Because I shouldn't say that he didn't deserve it, because he did win the 4 games, but...
No, but,
yes, but that's...
you've played 5, excuse me, all viewers, crappy players.
Yeah. And that's the problem with the Swiss, because as I said, you have 40, then 20, and then 10, and then 5. If you reduce it to like 60 players, then you have 30, 15, 7, and then it's only 3 players. So then it works out better, at least.
But then again, seriously, that would mean that one guy gets lucky. One guy gets to play against someone who is not being able to match his skill. Let's say that happens. Let's say that we have 4 really, really good players, and then we have a 5th player who, or let's say 5 good players, and then a 6th player who just happens to be there, and is glad to be, and might not even play to win. She just got very good matchups. The thing that can happen is that, okay, so one guy gets to play him, and the other guy gets to play each other. But that could equally mean that one guy has a list that he can only beat a certain army with. It's like this list struggles a lot with high elves, and in the top there are 4 high elves and 1 whatever, and he gets to play that army. That will have the same effect.
Yeah, but the problem is that the Swiss won't work when you have too large. If you have too few games and too large of people, it won't work. Mathematically, it won't work.
No, and the thing you're addressing, Anders, is it doesn't matter how big or small the tournament is. That can always happen. You go to a tournament and I cannot play against war machines. Then it's dwarves, empire, dwarves, ogre kingdoms, and empire. And I'm fuck. But I mean, the thing that Johan is really addressing is the problem when there's a large tournament and like you're just cruising through and you don't have to play any good player at all. And to give a perfect example, it can happen in a small tournament as well. I won the tournament down in Linköping a couple of years ago, and I didn't have to play. Did I play any good players? I don't think so. I don't remember. I think I dodged. I dodged the only 3 really good players at that tournament. I didn't have to play because they ended up losing against one of their opponents
or one another even.
Yeah, and exactly. And it just ended up in my favor. So I won the tournament. I mean, I should never win tournaments.
That's true.
That's true. That we can agree on, at least.
Yeah.
Except for ETC.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. That's the problem why we won't win. That's because we bring Hampus as our captain.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the players.
No. I think we already addressed that in the last episode.
I'm giving you the best pairing possible, and it's still my fault.
It's not the best pairing for us. You're just looking at our lists compared to the other lists. You have to compare. I mean, you have to keep in mind other stuff.
Like the temperature in the room.
It has nothing to do with the sheet you have to make.
How hungover your players are.
It's only you, Anders. But another thing, talking about tournaments and also the ETC, what do you think about maybe the problems with cheating or players not playing 6 rounds and people who are just fucking annoying or...
Yeah, those are always going to be in the tournaments as well. Especially I hate players that don't play all the turns. It's so annoying. Especially when they do it in every game of the tournament. I don't...
But how are you gonna solve that? I mean, it's hard.
Chess clocks, in my opinion. It's not that hard. You have it in War Machine.
Yeah, but talking about the tournament scene and looking at, for example, the tournament in Västerås that we had a couple of weeks ago. I mean, there may be 2 players who are not finishing their games, but then you're talking about giving every player a chess clock. I mean, does it really?
But even if you don't need it, sometimes when you play a game, you have used like 50 minutes of the game, and your opponent will have used 2 hours of it.
Yeah.
You will still be within the 3 hours cap, but he will have used way more than half the time.
Yeah.
And if you play the game like that,
that's required.
Sometimes it's required, but I mean, if you do it in War Machine, for example, you have lost the game. You haven't played as fast, and you have played worse because you couldn't keep up with the.
The problem in War Machine is that you don't play anything in your opponent's turn.
Yeah, I know.
But if we do, what do you think about this? Maybe like having 3 or 4 chess clocks at the tournament, so that if you're playing someone and you feel that this guy is playing too slow, you could address the judge and get 1 clock for that table and split the time from there and say, okay,
that could work,
this is the time left. You have 1.5 hours. That means that you can play 75 minutes each.
Yep. I mean, seriously, then you say that you have to finish 6 rounds.
Yeah.
And you divide the time evenly between 6 rounds, and this is the minimum. I mean, this is the maximum amount of time you have to finish your round.
Yeah.
I think it should be like a clumped up, because if you play like slow in the first 2 rounds, your army might speed up in the end of the game. That's how you always play.
Yeah,
it.
but this is very, I mean, just harsh.
In theory.
Yeah, true. But I think that could work. I can't see a problem. I mean, when you play chess, have you seen a chess game? You go like this, and this, and this. Why couldn't you do that with the dices? You toss the dices, the other opponent should pick up 7 dices and toss them.
I think that most of the times
it.
that's the problem. No, most of the times that's the problem. You play an opponent who throws the dice and then he just picks them up.
Yeah. True, but
that's not going to work. You have to put them on the table, and I mean, seriously, like if it's 10 or 15 dice, it takes some time to go through them.
But one thing... Oh, sorry.
No, what I was going to say was that the problem with the slow players is mostly based on that the players they play don't realize until it's too late that the game has been going on too long. For example, if I'm playing Lagge, and I know that Lagge is taking too much time on his decisions, and I know that he's a notorious slow player. That's not the case here, but I mean, then I stress him. I tell him to go faster, and I mean, that most often helps. If it doesn't, then you get a judge to the table. But some of the less experienced players, some of the less experienced players, they don't know that, so they play the game and then they realize, holy shit, it's 20 minutes left of the game and we're in round 2.
Yeah.
And then you have a problem.
Yeah, and I think that's the most obvious case as well. I think when slow players face up with better players, the better player might know that this is a slow player. I will stress him, so he makes mistakes and we get done in time.
And you also have the ability of playing your own game faster. I know that if I'm playing a slow player...
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the case, because then you stress yourself as well.
But I can play my army faster. I prefer not to, but if I have to, I can play it faster. Not stressing through it, but I can play it faster.
Yeah.
Without it affecting my result.
But one thing I was thinking about is that, I mean, it's like, it's the small time stealers during a game that ends up making the game slow. And one thing is that during my last tournaments, I have always said that, okay, when he rolls 2 wound, he rolls and then he rolls maybe 15 dices and then there's 8 wounds. I often take his dices and roll them.
Yeah, but some
because
players
that
just
speeds
freak
it
out
up
if you touch the dices.
Yeah,
well,
I know. So that's one thing you have to talk about in the beginning, and that's the one thing I liked with the ETC, that they wrote in the rules that if the other player wants to use your dice, you have to let them use them.
Yeah,
and I think that's good.
I don't think that was the wording, but something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
I think you could agree on using
exactly.
one set of dice.
Yeah, but I think it said somewhere that you could not deny the other player
to toss your dice. I think that as well.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And but because that was like a back-end way of saying you can't cheat as well with the dices.
Exactly.
Shall we try to restart the call maybe? Lasse is kinda
frozen. Lasse, should we reconnect you?
I can see myself.
Yeah, but we can't.
We can't see you.
But you can hear me.
We can see you, but you're kind of frozen.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay, yeah, I can definitely shut this down and you can add me again.
Do you add him?
Oh yeah, now everything freaks out here.
Yeah. I can add him.
Yeah, do that. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I think we also have a switcheroo about... now we can't see you either. Now it's
Seriously?
Now it's just black. Do you have another program using...
We'll skip. We can hear him.
Yeah, you can hear him.
That's good enough.
You can have my beautiful picture here instead.
But so, what are we saying? That if you're playing against a slow player, you just you have to try to speed him up or address the judges as soon as possible.
We still need you in the call because
Damn.
Because of the boxes, you know.
I closed the wrong window again. Sorry, guys.
They're back.
It works. Yeah.
I go get the judge after turn 1. The latest. If I see that, I mean, if I know that I'm facing a player that maybe it's not slow on purpose, but that I know takes a lot of time playing, and then I tell him that so I first tell him we have to speed up, and if that doesn't work, I'll tell him I'm gonna get a judge so he can distribute the time evenly between us. And I don't think that's like assaulting on anything. It's like saying that I want to finish this game. That's just it.
But what about playing players who have like bad temper and are not that? Yeah, it ends up being not a very nice or friendly game. Is that something we should just live with, or?
Like bad temper, as in when they're unlucky, or just bad temper in general?
Yeah, but also when they're lucky, like screaming and yelling, and if you, for example, rolls 17 dices and they all end up with ones.
I mean,
should other player be able to laugh?
You should always
opening that. You should not be opening that can of worms. Not the 17 ones discussion again. Seriously.
But is it possible though?
No.
All right. But I mean, what? You can't play a game if you can't get emotional. I mean, some people are emotional and some people are like Christian, and I mean, why wouldn't you be able to be emotional? Then it's just boring to play the game. To be honest.
Okay.
You don't have to be angry, but I mean, emotional. That's one thing. One thing. Yeah. I know. A lot of players.
I think the most important thing is that you should leave the table and don't have any anger feelings against your opponent.
Yes. That's.
I mean, you should be able to shake hands and say, okay, I lost or I won, and it's dices, and of course there's a lot of skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this case, it was all dices. That's what
yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we both know you were incredibly lucky. I'm just gonna go away.
But I mean, if you, for example, take me in a really in a final of in a tournament, and my dices are really bad, I will get fucking frustrated and even angry. Especially if it is on the ETC, for example. If my dices are bad there, I will be really angry because I can't do anything about it. I can't play better.
But it's a difference between being angry at your dice and your, on your opponent or whatever. Like.
Yeah. Don't let it spill over to your opponent.
I think it's important that you make that clear. That okay, I'm sorry, I'm being whiny right now, but just let me be.
But Anders, you're always whiny. No. According to you, you have never lost a game. Oh, except with bad luck.
That's not true, actually. I contrary to popular belief, I have actually lost a lot of games on pure bad play.
Yeah. So this weekend, there are only a couple of days left. You're going to Denmark.
Yeah.
And
yes.
I can only say I wish you good luck.
Thank you.
And hopefully I will be right. I'm going to show this once more. This is the predictions. I still have it here.
Yeah.
And
I would actually like to release a errata of my predictions.
No.
Because I mean, there are a lot of soft scores. You can't really expect to win just by winning your games.
That's another thing. If you have been to Giant Fanatic previously, and you have any idea how the quiz works, can you please give us some quick introduction to how it works? Is it like really detailed rules question, or is it like about the storyline in Warhammer, or what's it about? Because if we have got it correctly, now you closed the wrong thing again. If you got it correctly, we will be able to use everything a lot, like all books and even internets and anything. Can you please invite him, Hampus?
Oh, should I invite him? Sorry, I'm trying to fix another thing also. Like that?
I just want to say this time it wasn't my fault.
No, it was your cat.
Or the dices, maybe?
Or the 17 ones.
This fucking bad luck, seriously. What the yeah, and I was kind of worried because you could use all the possible aids you could get. I would assume you can even Google stuff. We can't because we don't have the 3G system, the net access in Denmark, so we're gonna be in the black, in the dark. But yeah, that sounds very scary. You have a rules quiz and you can use all the aids possible, and I think it runs the entire first day. So I'm expecting some seriously tough questions.
Like, is it possible to roll 17 ones and things like that?
Yeah, but I know the answer to that one. So
yeah. So, but yeah, I can only say good luck, and we will be discussing a new army next time.
Yeah. Also,
I think wait,
we won't.
no. The next time will be after this weekend, and then you two will discuss how it went and maybe talk about your games.
Yeah.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll have a guest next week.
Hopefully, yes. Hopefully we
So
will
we
have
will
a
be
guest.
4. And after that we will continue with the army books, one by one.
Yeah.
So do you have anything you want to say before we end the show?
Don't forget to subscribe.
No, exactly. Keep leaving us feedback. There are, I'm sure, a lot of things we could still improve. We are aiming at keeping this at a very casual level. No editing, stuff like that. Just plain.
And we're going to release it audio only also. The first show and this one will be available on audio only.
Yeah.
Soon.
Probably.
Yeah.
When
A
you
store
see
next to
this,
you.
Maybe.
When
I
you
don't
see
know where
this,
we will put
there,
it, though.
I'd say we
will
put a link.
But we won't put it
link
in on YouTube. We need some other media source.
Yeah, we will fix that. No problem.
Yeah. There will be a link somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So take care, guys, and I'll see you after the weekend. And I'm gonna enjoy those beers from you guys.
Hang loose.
Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Bye.